Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 5 struggles of an age gap relationship. So if you are watching this and you have a significant age gap with you and your significant other, this is the video for you. So make sure you watch it the whole way through.
Of course, the first one is looks, stares, and comments. And anytime you have a relationship that is not normal,
So
you get those stares and people comment, and it's no different than the way people treat interracial relationships or gay relationships or anything like that. There's always a bias and there's always a level of discrimination that comes along with that. And my personal belief is that's what's wrong with our society. That's why divorce rates are so high, is because we're looking for approval from other people when the only approval should be between the two in the relationship. If you're in a relationship and the only thing you're looking for is your friend's approval or your neighbor's approval or anything like that, that relationship's gonna fail. It's also known as keeping up with the Joneses. And that just doesn't work. If your relationship is gonna be strong and it's gonna be successful, it needs to be strong between the two in the relationship.
the two of you.
And we don't let those comments, stares, and looks get us down.
And neither
Because-
should you guys.
That's right. If you are in a strong relationship that you believe in, stand up for it and don't let anyone push you around, whether it's a gay relationship or whether it's interracial or whatever the case may be. If you're happy in that relationship, that's all that matters.
Number 2 would be the generation gap, and he's going to pull up some information really quick that he wants to say. Tony was born in 1970, which makes him 49 years old.
Whopping.
Just kidding.
Whopper? Whopper or whopping?
Just kidding. I am Generation Z. I was born in 1998. I am 21 years old. And he has researched some things about both the generations that may cause problems or, be different for each of us.
Well, for Generation X, we're also known as the MTV generation. It was during that time frame where punk rock and music videos and grunge and alt rock, alternative rock, and hip hop all came to prominence. Some of the other things that were brand new as we were growing up was cable TV. We grew up in a time there were no smartphones, so I know all those millennials and Generation Zs, and they would go crazy if they didn't have their smartphone and have their Snapchat and Instagram and TikTok and all that other stuff.
But I'm not really like that. I'm not. And you know it. I just found the game Property Brothers, and yes, I was playing it yesterday, but that's different. I don't literally sit there on social media and scour it for hours, but I'm an old soul. So we get along well because I listen to the same music. I even listen to music that's older, like 1960s, and
I listened to the 1960s because my
his
dad
parents.
was very musical, plays guitar, and there was always music playing. So hearing House of the Rising Sun by the Animals, that's one of my favorite songs from the 1960s. There's a whole bunch of other ones that I like too, but that's just one of them. But I think our generation gap actually kind of helps us, because when there's a techno thing that I'm like, well, what is this?
She's just
And then if there's something that, whether it's an event that happened or in the past, like 9/11 or something like that, where she was too young to remember, but I remember watching that live on TV and it was just the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. I could just kind of describe to her how I felt and just how sad I felt that day. And, she's been to the 9/11 memorial,
not the museum.
I haven't. And hopefully we can do that someday. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure I'll shed a tear or two because that was a very emotional time. I think the other challenge that we had with our age gap is our families.
Yep.
And that's just going to be a work in progress.
His family and siblings are obviously older. His parents are older than my parents, and he's older than my parents. But they were used to what it was before me, what his life was like before me. He wasn't really happy. He didn't live his life. He just existed. And I think it was hard. I think it still is hard for them to see him happy, see him changed, because he is different. He's himself again. And my family, oh my gosh, it's like anything he says or does, they're right there with him. My family loves him, they accept him, and it's harder for his family to accept me, and it's hard on me to feel like I fit in.
And I think that's just going to take time as, my family adjusts to the new life after my previous marriage. And I think what people need to look at is that, we're only on this earth for a short period of time. And love, when you're with someone that you truly love and respect, and we have so much in common, that's what the bond that we have, and that we can talk to each other. That love will be forever, even in the afterlife, if that's what you believe. And that's definitely what we believe. For those that have problems with our relationship, then, I leave that on them. Maybe that's why there's so much discrimination and so many problems in society, because of that bias and that discrimination. But we've moved beyond that, and we're not going to let any of that stop what we have. Mm-hmm. And
we're getting married in October.
Yes.
Number 4 would be babies.
Having children and what our children will experience. I've heard people comment, "Oh, that's gross." Don't say that. Don't say your dad's that old, because
that's just embarrassing.
Yeah. It's not embarrassing to them when it's their father and it's the one they love. A family is a family. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter if the father is older or if the mother is younger or vice versa. What matters is that your kids see a loving home and they know that no matter what, you both are going to be there for them. And it just, I don't ever want to hear somebody tell my kid, "Well, your dad's old, so he'll never be there to walk you down the aisle," which is not true, because you don't know how long somebody's going to live. He might not see tomorrow. I might not see tomorrow. We both may be killed in a car accident today. But what matters is we showed our kids love.
Yeah, and I know some of my friends are like, "Well, why would you want to do that?" Because I do have 2 boys that are teenagers. A lot of people are like, "Well, then you can be free to do whatever you want." And, I've already, when I was younger, pretty much did whatever I want before I got married the first time. There's no need to go back to that as far as like clubbing or partying or whatever you want to call it. I've done all that already, and I don't need to relive those days. I mean, they're great to talk about when you're with your friends, but we'll still be able to go out and have fun. I mean, those are some of the moments that will bond us even more if we have a child and we could watch that child grow up. Number 5, which is life after a significant other, when you have the age difference that we have. If nature runs its course, I'm 28 years older than Kelsey, and we just don't know how much time I have. I mean, tomorrow's not guaranteed. The next hour is not guaranteed. I mean, I could live to be 100, I could live to be 50 or 55 or whatever that age is, and we really can't worry about that. We have to live each day to the best of our ability and keep on with our plans, and we've made preparations for that time. So
Because you definitely do have to think about it.
yeah, you have to make preparations to make sure that my boys are taken care of and that any children that we have are taken care of, and that, you know, Kelsey has what she needs after I'm gone. And also vice versa, because, you know, like we said, there's nothing guaranteed in this world.
Except death and taxes, like everyone says, the old cliche.
You know, you just have to take preparations and, like we said, just live every day to the fullest, because every day that you get is a blessing.
And like every relationship, it's a little bit of a give and take.
And it is. And it's a give and take as far as, like we talked earlier, accepting, you know, her knowledge about all the iPhones and smartphones. If I'm having trouble with a setting on my phone, I'm like, well,
How do I get my phone to do this?
and she's like, oh, well, and then she'll have it done. And that's a big help. I mean, and it's learning. I think if you're not living your life where you're learning something every day, then you're not living your life. I think that's the problem, that people isolate themselves. Then they're like, oh, I'm old, and this is what society expects of an old person. And I am not going to fall for that. As long as I'm physically able, I'm going to do all the things that I like to do, and Kelsey's going to be right there with me. And it makes it a lot of fun, because every day is an adventure.
You only get one life.
You only get one life, and if you're going to live it to the fullest, and thank God every day for it. So that's our story as far as the challenges behind a relationship that has an age gap. If you're in a relationship similar, or if you faced biases or discriminations, we'd love to hear from you.
Comment down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned to all of our new videos, all of our adventures. We enjoy seeing everybody's comments. But bye guys, we will see you in the next video.
All right, see ya.